rich in natural resources and being the forefront of technological innovation, Karnataka provides a range of opportunities for investors across industries. But despite this stupendous growth, the state's economic engine has not been geographically balanced. Okay, as the lion's share of GDP comes from Bengaluru. This is where Karnataka at 100, our vision document, focuses on a roadmap to create an enabling ecosystem and robust policy framework that would strengthen entire Karnataka economy across districts and put it on the path of progress and prosperity. In doing so, inclusiveness serves as a cornerstone, fostering an environment where every voice is heard and every individual is valued and the opportunities are democratized across the geographies. Leadership, meanwhile, guides us towards a brighter future, inspiring action and fostering unity. But when inclusiveness and leadership intersect, we get a powerful force for positive change. Inclusive leadership is about leveraging diversity as a strength and creating environments where everyone feels valued and empowered to contribute their best. It fosters a culture of openness, trust, and collaboration where differences are celebrated rather than suppressed. So today we have with us an example of this truly transformative inclusive leadership, Mr. C.K. Venkatraman, Managing Director, Titan Company, to share his experience and takeaways for all of us. Mr. Venkatraman brings around 30 years of experience to the brand. Venkat has proven executive management experience in driving sales growth and marketing innovations in the lifestyle industry. Venkatraman grew up in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, and did his bachelor in mathematics. After a couple of years of working, he went on to get his PGDM from IIM Ahmedabad in 1985. After 5 years of working in the advertising industry, he joined Titan Company in 1990 as advertising manager. Venkat spent 14 years in the watches division of Titan Company, mostly in the marketing and then in sales and retailing. He moved into the jewelry division of Titan in 2005, where he spent the next 14 years heading the division, and he became the managing director in 2019.
First is that we make it a point to enter unorganized sectors with relatively low formal competitive intensity, and in a way create a first mover advantage through that approach. So whether it is watches at that time, not exactly like that, but somewhat like that, and certainly every other category that we have moved into, jewelry, eye care, perfumes, saris 5 years back. So this is one characteristic. Our entry is defined by that. The second is that we also make it a point to become a category expert in every category where we operate. And this category expertise across from design to manufacturing to sourcing to distribution to branding, customer experience. So all parts of the value chain we control, even if we don't own. And through that control, we get the competitive advantage in each one of those categories, which helps us to become the leader, hopefully the distant leader, and through that capture both sustainability as well as a greater share of the profit pool in that category. The third is a huge customer obsession we have. That's at the center of how we live, breathe, including the leader's own role in customer obsession, being in the trenches all the time, listening to people directly from customers, from our stores, from our partners, and all the time improving our offering to the customers. So that's an obsession in the company, and through that we create brands which are very, very strong and which go for decades. The fourth thing is a deep-rooted stakeholder capitalism, I'll call it, in the true Tata spirit, where it's not just about the owners or the investors of the company. It's about employees, certainly. It's about partners, distribution, retail partners, manufacturing, sourcing partners, the community, our responsibility to the government, our responsibility to civil society. So we are a multiple stakeholder company in true spirit, in practice, and through that we create an organization, the larger Titan family as we call it, which sort of goes into action every time it requires to, in a way, save the company in a sense, like it happened during COVID. So our recovery during COVID was so much faster than many other companies because the larger Titan family came to the rescue of the company and simply brought it to its feet and took it forward. And the last is about ethics and integrity, again in the true Tata spirit, to the extent that our campus in Electronic City, it's not called the Titan Summit or Titan X or Titan Y, it's called Integrity. That's the name of the campus that we have.
So we had 6 or 7 different work streams within our task force. People who had no idea about it, but when people with different, when the purpose is very clear, the purpose was absolutely clear during COVID, what needed to be accomplished, and it needed to be accomplished with no time to spare. Whatever we were doing was already too late. So the power of what can be accomplished together when there is a clear purpose ahead of you, it was an incredible experience. You really, the belief in what teams can achieve was driven home during that experience. And I think within the company, yes, you know each other, there are processes and systems in place. So I think what came through for us most during COVID was, a lot of collaboration. I think Venkat talked about hierarchies, I think Arjun talked about it. So completely no hierarchies, because none of us really knew how to handle it. So ideas were open. Anyone and everyone was requested to contribute, and they did. And we were also in the business of supplying masks to the market, especially to the hospitals. We were also in the business of supplying certain other essential commodities. So, just working with the government, working with our government affairs team, securing all kinds of approvals for movement of trucks, for safe passage for our own factory workers to reach the factory. There were just so many things that was going on that I think the learnings from COVID is collaboration, purpose-driven organization, and then transparency and just openness.
We were just naturally at a complete loss what to do. So I think there was a very, very fearful and negative outlook at that time. And I think what got us through was communication. And when we talk about building trust, I think that was the fundamental underpinning of our approach. Although looking back, I don't think we thought of it as a strategy and an approach. It just happened. Every week we would have calls for the entire company to join. Anybody could join. In fact, everyone was asked to join. So they would hear what was our approach, what was our thought process, why were we taking certain decisions. And some of these decisions were hard decisions. So it was difficult to talk about them because you knew the way someone would react to that was not potentially in the best way possible, because it may not have been in their current best interest at that time. And it took a lot of courage to do that, but nobody shied away from that communication aspect of things.
So we had a multiple issues. So we basically 3 sets of people. One on product design innovation, for one kind of a DNA. Then we have a lot of sustenance people who do a lot of regular work, and we have manufacturing. And all of a sudden, everybody got distributed away. Manufacturing is shut down, and then people had to get back home. You would deal with those challenges and so on. And we had a lot of business continuity both for internal and for our customers, because we basically work for customers who are mostly overseas, and a lot of their IPs, a lot of their processes were with us. Then suddenly, what do we do? How do we do this? And how do we keep business continuity? Then we had to very quickly look at how do we provide infra, compute, connectivity and these things. And then you're very worried giving all this expensive equipment to some remote places where people are all over the place. Even movement was difficult. So we had to undergo those challenges. Once we had that, we had a lot of info security issues because there's IP and stuff like that. So what do we do with that? So we had to overcome that. And so these were some of the learnings, and at that time we would have regular calls, 5-10 minutes with different groups, and we still do that. One of the learnings is because people got distributed, and in our industry many of them have not come back to physical work, and that's kind of the new norm.